Hey man, I just want to give you a quick little nugget. Sometimes in our life, we get moved by situations and we get moved by circumstances when really what God is wanting us to do is just to be still and know that He is God. But we let the wind and the waves come and blow us all out of our course, blow us all out of proportion, and blow us all out of character. Why can't we just be still and stay put? A lot of times that happens is because we are not fastened to the rock. Jesus taught a parable about the wise man and the fool, and how the fool built his house on the sand, and the wise man built his house on the rocks. When the storms came and the waves and the wind, the fool who built his house on the sand, his house fell. And the Bible says that great was the fall thereof. But the wise man who built his house on the rocks, when the wind and the waves came and the storm came and blew on his house and beat on his house stood because it was founded on the rock. When we don't fasten ourselves to the rock, we can get moved. We can get blown down. The life that we're trying to build can get blown all to pieces. That's what happens when we build our house on the sand. That's what happens when we are fastened to the sand. That's what happens when we're fastened and connected and attached to our emotions. So much so that we get moved easily when the storm comes. What we need to do is not be fastened to our emotions or so connected to our emotions, but we need to be connected to the rock. Now, Jesus is the rock. How can I be connected to the rock? That would be the next logical question. How can I be fastened to the rock so that I won't be moved? Well, if Jesus is the rock, and the Bible says that we are crucified with Christ, we are literally fastened to Christ, connected to Christ via His crucifixion. Then, if we're crucified with Christ, we are fastened to the rock. We are connected to the rock. And everything that we build should be built on the foundation of, I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but Christ is He who lives in me. And the life that I live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God who loved me and gave Himself for me. So if you find yourself being moved all out of character, being blown all to bits and pieces every time you try to build a life, every time you try to do something for God, maybe you're fastened to the sand. Maybe you're connected to your feelings. Maybe you're not at all founded on the rock or fastened to the rock by being crucified with Christ. Just something to think about. God bless you, grace be with you, and peace from our Father.